freaks and celluloid creeps. I'm Soren, your curator of cursed cinema.
And I'm Necromia, vessel of vengeful VHS and guardian of the grave-bound Blu-ray 4K.
Tonight, we're digging into the rotting heart of legendary director George A. Romero's legendary Dead Saga. We're talking about Night, Dawn, Day, Land, Diary, and Survival of the Dead. The blueprint, the bloodline, the revolution.
We're serving post-apocalyptic realness, decomposing flesh, and some surprisingly sharp glass commentary.
Yeah, and before we do, let's dive in to physical media, because I came prepared. This is the second side 4K restoration of Dawn of the Dead. It's worth every penny. Gorgeous transfer, and look, all 3 cuts, and it's packed with extras.
I can smell the slipcover from here. It's scented like mole blood and consumer regret. Very, very, very nice.
Yes, and of course, Night of the Living Dead from Criterion, pristine 4K restoration, still grim, still vital, and still beautiful.
So, that's very nice. Wow, there's even a poster in there. Very, very nice.
Yes, this is really an awesome edition of George Romero's classic Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, this is the version to have if you really want to enjoy the movie. And look at all this. Beautiful. And look at this. The very rare Stars Blu-rays of Dawn and Day. I mean, they are almost impossible to get, and you can't stream anything like this. They're beautiful. And the rest of the movies I pretty much have in standard Blu-rays, but I mean, the quality is still excellent, so that's great. 1968. Romero's black and white nightmare begins at a Pennsylvania cemetery. Barbara and her annoying brother Johnny arrives to visit, and Johnny just keeps being annoying.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Teasing her. Then a man attacks her, then everything falls apart. Barbara flees to a farmhouse. Inside she meets Ben, a cool-headed stranger who boards up the house. But the real danger isn't just outside, it's within.
Shot for peanuts, scored with silence, laced with dread. Romero reinvented horror and didn't even mean to make a statement about race, but oh, he did.
Dwayne Jones as Ben, calm, heroic, doomed. His final moments, unflinching. No Hollywood bow, just gut-wrenching nihilism.
And yes, the ghouls eat real pig guts, which I might add were also lunch for the crew.
The Criterion version restores every frame in ghastly beautiful detail.
The original zombie film, still the most grounded, still the most chilling.
This is essential. The kind of movie that rewired horror forever. Dawn of the Dead from 1978 is a horror epic written and directed by George Romero. It stars Ken Foree, David Amch, Scott Reiniger, and Galen Ross. It was filmed in the Monroe Mall near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, set in the early stages of a full-blown zombie apocalypse. 4 survivors, a helicopter pilot, his pregnant partner, and 2 SWAT officers find temporary safety inside a shopping mall. But society collapses outside. They realize that the mall might not just be a sanctuary, it could be a trap.
We're in full apocalypse now. The dead walk. The cities fall.
It's satire, it's action, it's consumerism, with a machete. Romero isn't subtle. These zombies are stuck in retail limbo, and it's hilarious and deeply sad.
With a rock-bottom budget, pure chaos, Tom Savini handled the gore, and boy, does it pour.
Blue-gray zombies, exploding heads, a biker gang, a pie fight. It's got everything.
You never seen consumer critic delivered with such a satisfying squelch.
There's more than meets the eye with Dawn of the Dead. It's such a great film, and you really explore what it's like living in the Monroe Mall, because the four people actually try to make a normal living with the world collapsing. I think it's beautiful and very sad. It's really a great movie.
Yeah, check it out. It's awesome in every way.
George Romero, a legend, a gentleman, and he wasn't done yet. Day of the Dead is a 1985 post-apocalyptic horror written and directed by George A. Romero. It is the third entry in his zombie saga, and it's the darkest. The world is basically lost. What's left of humanity lives underground. A small group of scientists and soldiers share a tense and decaying bunker in the Florida Everglades. While the military loses patience, one scientist experiments on the undead, trying to doomsticate them. One zombie in particular, named Bob, shows signs of intelligence. But things spiral out of control quickly. Fear, power, grief, and decay all boils over inside the compound.
This is Romero's grimmest, most despairing, and weirdly heartfelt.
Bob the zombie, he listens to music, he salutes, fires a gun. Well, he's more human than the humans.
A fantastic entry from George Romero. The film gives you everything you expect from now on. And the gore here, oh my ripping jaws, torn guts. A man gets split in half, and Tom Savini used real big intestines that were left unrefrigerated.
Yeah, the smell was legendary.
Like this film.
Poor Joe Pilato. He really took one for the team.
Unfortunately, in his case, those guts were part of a 55-gallon drum of guts that we had from the beginning of the movie until that we used over and over again and put them back in the refrigerator.
We had a week or so off over Christmas. We came back. Tom and I went out to the mine one day, and somebody had accidentally unplugged the refrigerator with the guts in it, which was in our shop. We walk into the shop, it's like...
The stench was incredible, but we had to do the effect, so, I mean, we didn't have time to go out and get new stuff.
Take one, mark it.
Poor Joe was unprotected, and I have a videotape of us, and Joe, he's ready to heave. I think we kept telling him, Joe, look, in 45 minutes we'll be out of here and you'll be part of movie history. Yeah, really? Okay, so, you know, I mean, he knew it was bullshit. He knew we were priming him, we were conning him, but he also knew that, you know, it was true.
Land of the Dead is a 2005 horror film, written and directed by George A. Romero, and is the fourth in the Dead series. It stars Simon Baker, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, and Asia Argento. Yes, it's the daughter of famous director Dario Argento. Years after the outbreak, humanity has settled into walled cities. The rich live in towers while the poor scrape by in the streets. A militarized crew scavenges supplies from the zombie-infested world beyond the barricades. But something has changed.
The undead are learning, led by a gas station zombie nicknamed Big Daddy. They begin organizing.
And Cholo, played by John Leguizamo, is ready to burn it all down.
Dennis Hopper plays the elite slime ball. Greg Nicotero returns to paint the walls red.
Land is Romero's most polished, maybe his most political, and the zombies, they finally talk back.
Less survival horror, more social collapse, still deliciously gruesome.
Now Romero grabs a camcorder. Diary of the Dead is a found footage film with a fatalism filter. A group of film students tries to document the first days of the outbreak.
Zombies through a digital lens. It's meta, messy, and yes, extremely 2007.
Romero resets the timeline here, back to Outbreak Zero. But this time everyone's filming, streaming, editing. Even as the world ends, we curate.
And it asks, if you film horror, are you stopping it or feeding it? Also that defibrillator kill, electrifying.
The commentary is blunt, but it hits. YouTube, media obsession, desensitization. It's not subtle.
But neither is the zombie biting your face off.
Low budget, high ambition, found footage, fatigue was real, but Romero did it his own way.
And then Survival of the Dead. An Irish feud on an island with zombies. Yes, really.
It's Hartsfields versus the McCoys, with rotting corpses, horses, potato politics, a Romero and Juliet with rifles and reanimated kin.
It's Romero's weirdest, goofiest, and I'll say his most experimental. Western tropes meets zombie code of honor.
The big question, can zombies be taught to eat something else, like say, horses?
The tone's uneven. Some effects land, some look like PS2 cutscenes. But under the hockey surface, Romero still asks the hard stuff. Can we coexist with the things we fear?
And the real enemy, as always, is us. Petty, petulant, armed to the teeth, still refusing to change.
It's not a perfect film, but it's pure Romero. Scrappy, angry, defiant to the end. I met Tom Savini at the HorrorCon. We talked blood, latex. I told him I was an instant fan from the moment I saw Friday the 13th as a kid. Probably way too young.
The Sultan of Splatter himself, that's better than an autograph from Satan.
I also had the pleasure of meeting Greg Nicotero, the gore guru himself. I told him Day of the Dead changed my life.
Oh, the Prince of Prosthetics. From Savini's apprentice to zombie overlord. That's horror royalty, baby.
Super humble guy. Funny, sharp, and still looks like he could direct a walker herd through traffic. And Leonard Lies, such a prankster. He was really interested in hearing what we liked about Dawn of the Dead and why we thought it was great. Really great guy. Oh, Joe Pilato, such a great guy. He insisted on becoming my friend.
Yeah, you zombies are following me everywhere. I can't stand it.
Such a nice guy. He even signed it to my friend Soren. Rest in peace, my friend. I was lucky enough to meet George A. Romero. The man was a gentle giant, funny, thoughtful, and the reason zombies have brains and bite.
Rest in peace to the ghoul father, and thank you for the nightmares.
And the movies. Always the movies. Romero didn't just invent the modern zombie. He gave them depth, anger, even memory.
And he gave us a gift, a way to stare into the void and maybe laugh while doing it.
If you haven't seen these films, do it. Not just for the gore, but for the guts, the soul, the ideas.
Also, the gore. Stay possessed.
And remember, we'll see you sooner than you know.
Probably in your nightmares.